Hi, today I'm going to be showing you what you can make with the Christmas Blockbuster Winter Wishes kit. So I've chosen to make a card using the Festive Blessings topper set, some snowfall acetate, some silver mirri and a 7x7 card blank. So let's get started. We are going to make our 7x7 card blank and we're going to grab the cardstock and the mirri first of all to make this card. We want this card to be a tent fold, so have that with your scoreline at the top. And then what we're going to do is we are going to take our cardstock and trim this down first of all. So first of all, we're going to use this side of the cardstock and cut ourselves a matte layer to go on a 7x7 mirri, silver mirri sheet. So we're going to cut that at 2 notches under the 7 on both sides. And then that'll sit nicely on a 7x7 mirri mat, which we're going to make now using our silver mirri. So I'm going to mat and layer these two together. I'm going to use some double-sided tape, but you can use whatever adhesive you prefer. Okay, perfect. And that would go absolutely wonderfully on the top of my card as just a plain matte and layer, but we're going to make this a tiny little bit fancier. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop this on the inside of our card, come back to our remaining cardstock, and we're going to make like a swing kind of card for this project. So we're going to take our remaining cardstock that we've got left. We've got this beautiful panel here that we can use. So we've got just under 5 inches of the cardstock remaining. So we're going to cut that down even further. So I'm just going to gently sort of place that in at a position where I'm happy with. And again, you can trim off both sides if you need to. I'm going to try and get this down to 3 inches by cutting off the left and right panels. And then we're going to go again with the height at 2 notches under the 7. And that will go perfectly on a 3x7 piece of mirri. Okay, so we're going to again adhere that with our double-sided tape. And then what we need to do at this stage is sort of mock up our layout for the card. So obviously that piece is going to go in there and we need to decide where to put this. So using my mat as a guide, I think I'm going to pop it there. So what we're going to do is we're going to then take our card blank, pop that in our trimmer and line the left hand side of our cardstock to 1 inch. We're going to gently move the blade up the trimmer so that it grabs the first layer of cardstock but not the second. We're then going to line it up again at 4 inches because my panel is 3 inches, and we're going to do the same again, just gently sweep the blade up the trimmer, and then that should leave us with this gorgeous panel for us to use. Then what we want to do as well is trim off the remaining cardstock that we're not going to need. So you can either go in with your trimmer or your scissors straight along the score line and trim those pieces off and use them in another project. So that should be the shape of our card. So we're going to now pop in our bottom layer there. And we're going to just gently fold that over and pop our panel on as well. If you want to be extra spectacular and special with this card, you can actually also bring in some acetate. So I'll show you how to do that as well. Now we're just going to go down to the end of this. So we're going to cut this down to 4 inches by the 7 so that you have got a little bit of room there at the end of your card. So we're going to trim that again even further. And it's really important to do it at this stage so that you can hide your workings really easily. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring our card back in, and rather than just matting and layering this one next, we're going to actually pop our acetate on there as well so that that can be hidden perfectly using that panel. So again, we're going to use some double-sided tape. You can obviously use your ultra high tack. And we're just going to place that again nice and gently on the card blank, lining that up in position at the bottom of our card. Okay, and then we are ready to adhere this panel now. So I'm going to just take the tape backing off here and adhere that down to my card at the front. We're then going to bring our toppers in and finish this card in style. So I'm just going to remove that last piece and just gently pop that onto my card, again lining that up perfectly with that, and then that is your acetate all hidden on there as well. Okay, so we're going to bring in our topper sheet here, and this is a beautiful decoupage one. You get a wonderful topper foiled and die cut for you, and then all of these pieces will add together to create that decoupage. However, if you do want to go straight onto the cardstock as well, it is sized to fit as well, so you can save this for another project, and that's what we're going to do on this card. So we're going to pop out a few of our layers and build this up. You will notice on the back I've already got some foam pads, but we can add a few more as we're going along our project. So you just need to simply pop those on ahead of time or as you're going along and build up that decoupage really beautifully. So we're going to add each layer, again adding a little bit of curve for some shape, and go along the card, going from the largest to the smallest layer each time, making sure I save myself a few layers for extra projects. And then you just line up each layer beautifully onto your image. Okay, and then I'm going to add a final layer onto this so that I've got plenty for my other projects. And then we have that little bit of layering on our topper there as well, just a little bit. It's nice and subtle. Okay, perfect. So we're going to go back onto our topper sheet and we're going to add some toppers. We get 4 different sentiments on here, so we can add a few and still have some left over for our other projects. So we're going to go with Festive Blessings, and we're also going to go with Joy to the World, and again we've got those 2 tags for another project. So I think I'm going to just see where I like them on the layout. I'm going to add the Festive Blessings straight onto our front panel. And we're going to add that on with some foam pads. Perfect. You can actually finish this card with some gemstones or some ribbon if you want to. I'm just going to add 3 simple blue gemstones to finish to really echo that frosty feel. And then that is our card all done, ready to give to your recipients for Christmas.